The thing with obesity and depression, it's hard to ascertain what came first. Were you obese and that made you depressed, or were you depressed and that made you obese? Now, I want to draw a severe line here tonight between situational depression and chemical, hereditary, physical depression that, you know, people will say, well, why don't you just snap out of it, which I think is the worst thing you can ever tell anyone who's depressed, to snap out of it, because don't you think they would, you know, or they say to people who are obese, why don't you lose weight? Well, you're kidding me. That's what I need to do. I had no idea. Thank you for sharing that with me. So, what I'm talking about mostly tonight is situational depression. You know, your job stinks, people in your family are ill, you're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, and the kids are doing this, and your mother this and this. So situational depression. The thing that it says, even with chemical depression, is that losing weight is hard because it's something we have to do the rest of our lives. You know, it might seem depressing. I have to watch what I eat the rest of my life. What's the alternative? Diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, not being able to move, not putting a bathing suit on in public. There's yes, watching what we eat, but then there's consequences if we don't. So the first thing it says to do in this article done by a doctor is find a support system, a core of people. It mentions how great a weekly Weight Watchers or Overeaters Anonymous meeting is. We have that right here at Holy Family Church. We have a weekly meeting of people who all have the same problem. So it's less depressing. You come in here and we're not all size 5s that eat celery sticks and do 5 hours of aerobics a day. We're people who struggle with life, with weight. There's something to be said for that community. Also, the diet. I find that a 4-letter word. When people even say, I'm going to miss diet class, and I say, what class is that? This is not a diet class. It's how we as a group can ask God to help us fight the battle. Slowly, over time, consistency. Because a diet will always fail. And believe me, I know I've been on every one there is. Every one there is. And then it talks about doing something gradually. You know, people come in here, and yes, some people can lose 10 pounds in 1 week. Some people can't lose 10 pounds in 3 years. But maybe they haven't gained 10 pounds. Maybe they're learning. Maybe that switch will go off. The thing is, we need to understand that if we're going to try and get over being depressed, we have to integrate it and try to lose weight. We have to put both of those two things together. Because on Sunday, when I was getting ready for the meeting and I was doing the topic of depression, I wasn't turning to food to comfort me. I was thinking, this is powerful stuff. I was fighting my own thoughts to overeat over what was wrong with my sister by preparing this meeting. So it's a win situation for all of us. And there's more ideas in this next article. It talks about natural steps over time. One person in the group says, I don't want to exercise for exercise's sake. I don't want to get on a treadmill. I like to do an activity. I want to go kayaking for 3 or 4 hours. I want to put on my rollerblades and go to Onondaga Lake Park. She doesn't see that as exercise. She sees that as having fun. And if we can find something that's fun, if we can find something that we can do. And what I like about this too, it talks about how the cavemen weren't obese. They weren't. People weren't obese really till the 20th century. Sure, there might have been a few King Henry VIII or whatever, but they were spoiled. It says if we can for a week make a lifestyle change, and let's talk about how we brush our teeth every day, and if you don't raise your hand. I don't want to know if you don't brush your teeth. I'm guessing that the majority of us do. But it's something that our parents had to say, did you brush your teeth? Get up there, brush your teeth. I mean, how many times have we said it to our kids? You brush your teeth. And we showed them how, and we did it. And maybe once they hit 17 or 18, they started doing it on their own. The thing is, what we need to do is make some of these things as much of a habit as brushing our teeth. Getting outside. You know, there's people who have 0 on their exercise for a whole week. Some of these people are retired. And I'm thinking, it's night, evening, dusk. The sun's gone down. You put on some sneakers and you say, I'm just going to go for a little stroll. Wow, 15 minutes. You write down walk, 15 minutes. You got to get outside, smell the air. If it's too hot, wait till it's cooler. You know, it's like that whole, you know, what is it, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, you know, what's just right. We'll find an excuse. It's too hot, it's too cold, I'm too busy, I'm too this. I'll do it when the kids are older, I'll do it then. We got to do it now. Aerobic exercise. It doesn't mean you got to go to an aerobics class. You can get on, I get on my stationary bike and I pedal like crazy and get my heart rate up. And it says 30 minutes 3 times a week. I'm doing it every day. So that's good. Here's the easiest one that everyone can do. Take 2 fish oil a day. 2 fish oil. Omega-3 fatty acids. It helps you. It doesn't hurt you in any way. It's that with a multivitamin, avoiding the overly processed food. And next week, I'm going to tell you already, we're going to talk about food because I'm amazed at what's on these logs. I'm amazed. So we're going to really just talk about food next week and what we should eat. This is a good start. These are different choices. Start by taking 2 fish oil a day. I've done it for years. My blood pressure is 110/60. My cholesterol is 145. And I had good stuff even when I was heavier because I always took fish oil. I think a lot of it's genetics too. Sleep. This is something that really all you have to do is say, I'm going to bed now. I'm getting up now. If you're up till 2 o'clock in the morning and getting up at 6, your body isn't going to lose weight because you're too tired. It throws off your whole metabolic rate. You need more sleep. Socialize. I think this is a social time. I come here and I'm happy to see everyone. How are you? What did you do? How's your week? You need to get out with friends. This is overcoming depression, remember. If you're all by yourself, it's easier to think of your problems. And here's watch your thinking. One of these meetings, I'm going to do stinking thinking again because that's always been one of my worst enemies. And one of my kids, instead of E.E. Cummings, calls me E.E. McCauley because I'm an extreme extrapolator. If something happens, like let's say the kid does something wrong, I'm thinking they're going to take drugs. They're going to end up, being in jail. I'll take the one problem and I'll be extrapolating it out. Oh, I have a problem at work. Well, what if I quit my job? What if I lose my job? What if? That's extreme extrapolating. It can make you depressed, and God doesn't want you to do it. He wants you to go, Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. So I'm going to stop right there, Bob. And now the next thing.